Can I get a copy, or do you want to make copies of them, or?
Let's see. Let's actually here. If you guys want to just write that, you just write this down because they're pretty easy questions here.
Okay.
All right. Mark, why don't you ask how do the alternative credit programs work? And I will. And Patty. Okay. Oh, and the second one. Okay, so Mark, you'll ask how do the alternative credit programs work, and how much can students save with these programs, and which schools accept this type of credit. And then Patty, if you can ask, why aren't more people taking advantage of competency-based programs like this?
Okay.
Let's see, what do employers think about this? And then also you can ask, what do employers think about the students who use these types of programs?
So my third one is which colleges?
Which schools accept this type of credit? Okay. I'll ask that one. And then Mark, why don't you ask, looking to the future, how else do you see education changing? Okay. All right. And okay. So the way this is going to work, Adrian, is I'm going to just open up the show, and then eventually when I get to Adrian, welcome to the best of investing, that's when you chime in, okay?
Sounds good. And one thing, you have the first question on the secrets, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
One thing on that one is that there's about 3 general things that I cover.
Okay.
Usually, I found that kind of going through them, I can take a pause and then have one of you guys chime in and then say, oh, what else? What are some of the other secrets? Or I can cover all 3 in order. Do you have a preference if I just want me to just roll with all 3, or you want me to take a pause? You want to provide some insight into kind of the first one, like graduating on time, for example, and then you ask me what are the other ones, or do you have a preference?
I tell you what, why don't you give us all the secrets, and then we can always ask you follow-up questions on those.
Okay.
That sound good? All right. Okay. Are we ready? Patty?
Good.
Ready?
Yes.
All right. And away we go. Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing on Talk 910. I'm your host, Edward Brown. I'm proud to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, one of California's fastest growing mortgage investment firms, and Patti Cohen of Pacific Union International. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during this show. Now, those vacations are not sponsored by the radio station, but by Lighthouse Resort and Marina, located about 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. Those vacations are free. Their only request, a $100 cleaning fee to cover the housekeeping expenses. Today's trivia theme, we're just going to go to miscellaneous trivia again. We always like to keep you in suspense. And also, just as a reminder, for those of you who have never played paintball, go to the Best of Investing website and click on our paintball ticket icon, and what you'll see is 85% off. So you can get tickets for as little as like $5.
Fun. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And the thing is, they have paintball venues all around, so it's not just in one area. So you got to check it out. Go to bestofinvesting.com and click on paintball. Okay, we're also on television, Comcast Channel 26 and AT&T 99, Saturdays at noon, Sundays at 6 p.m. And today's special guest is Adrian Ridner to discuss college planning. Adrian, welcome to The Best of Investing.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Okay, so I'm going to ask you the first question here, which is, what are some of the secrets that colleges don't want you to know that could result in paying thousands or more for a degree?
That's a great question. There's actually quite a few things that students and parents don't think about that can be overpaying for your tuition, and you don't have to do that. One example is over 81% of students at public four-year universities take longer than 4 years to graduate. Now, a lot of colleges don't want you to know that because it used to be that it was because the student was taking their time, wanted to hang out. Now it's because the colleges can offer the classes that you need, and you get stuck. There's prerequisites that if you don't take and can't get it the first class, you can enter the more advanced version of, let's say, biology. So please check the college before you attend, and not just the school-wide statistics, but the degree program you plan on pursuing to make sure that the graduation rate matches what you expect. It can be not just the 20% more on tuition, it can be the living expenses and everything else that adds up over time. So that's one thing that is important. The other one is really the employers of the future are not going to care as much about the name of the school you attended. So don't really get hung up on a particular expensive school or degree. Really, the ability to learn in this knowledge economy is the new critical skill set that you have to gather as you're going to school and university. You can learn in a lot of different places. So again, do your research, pick a major that's going to provide a good ROI, and don't get hung up on really expensive schools that won't make a difference. And the last one, and probably the most surprising, is you don't have to pay full price for college. In reality, there's a lot of alternative credit programs that you can use to earn low-cost college credit, transfer that credit in the university and degree that you want, and save a lot of money. One version that is well known is AP, but there's actually several others as well.
So you're talking about alternative credit programs. How exactly do those work?
The way they work is you essentially either prove by taking a test that you master a particular course, that you don't have to actually take that course when you get to college. One example of that is AP, another is CLEP, College Level Examination. If you can test out of it, you'll get the college credit, it'll go into your transcript, and then you won't have to take that course when you get to your college. So there's other options. For example, ACE credit is provided by the American Council on Education. They are credit recommendations that are for particular courses that you can take. Some distance learning, some online, like the ones we offer at study.com. You take the course, you pass the proctor exam, and then that credit can transfer to over 2,000 U.S. Colleges and universities.
How easy is it to pass those exams?
I mean, it really depends how much previous knowledge you have. If you feel like you have a pretty good grasp of calculus because of everything you learn, and you think you can just pass this test outright, you should do that. If you're not quite sure, taking one of the courses is better because you can jump ahead on the areas that you know, but make sure you reinforce the concepts that you don't understand so you're really prepared to pass the exam. So it really depends how confident you are in your background across the different subject areas. But the key is, if you start early, you can cover quite a bit of your general education courses and come in and transfer those in. Not much difference that you do with community college, but you're just doing it ahead of time while you're in high school, let's say.
So Adrian, do different colleges have different, don't they have different transfer requirements? Because I recall a situation for myself personally where I switched colleges and at my junior year, and many of the courses I took in the first 2 years of the other college did not transfer. So how do you deal with the fact that the different colleges might have different transferability and acceptance requirements for credits?
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest challenges with this is you have to be mindful of the ultimate college that you want to attend and check ahead of time. So there's a lot of schools, for example, UC Berkeley accepts CLEP and ACE credit. A lot of California State Universities, the Ohio State University does. But you're absolutely right. You have to make sure that for the program and the admissions department that you're going to be involved with, that they're going to accept those credits. So you're not actually, wasting your time, I guess, taking those courses ahead of time. That said, the other thing a lot of people don't realize is that it's not usually a yes or no decision. It's a conversation between you and that admissions department, and you can actually, help them understand that those courses are equivalent, and a lot of times they'll grant you the credit.
So is it your goal with some of your clients to help them get a 4-year degree maybe sooner than 4 years if they can get credits differently than maybe actually having to attend ultimately their final college where they want to get their degree?
I think, our goal is really to help make education accessible. For us, one of the biggest challenges right now is both affordability and the ability to make it effective but efficient as well. There's about a $1.2 trillion in student loan debt. What a lot of people don't know is about 600 billion of that, about half of that is off of GE courses, GE courses that really students could take care of. So our mission is to help students accelerate that college career, still learn everything they need to learn, but pay a few $100s for some of those courses instead of in a private university, $4,000 per course, in public, $1,400 per course, and help do it not just faster, but really also in a much more cost-effective way, while still getting all the advanced skills and training, let's say in your junior year or your senior year at that four-year university and completing that same degree at the end of the day.
Wow, that's great. So it sounds like you're really, looking to both help people save money and maybe get an accelerated college degree. Do you have an idea of how much you're able to help some of your clients save?
Yes, it seems like depending on how many courses you can transfer in, we've had people that are saving 20%. We also have some people that are saving up to 50% on their tuition. It really depends. If you do your homework, certain colleges are able and willing to transfer a lot more credit in than others. So that aspect of it is a huge amount on how much you can save. The other thing is with getting waitlisted. If you're getting waitlisted and now you're 2 semesters behind, being able to take the next class, that really adds up quickly. So being able to see if there's certain classes that maybe you're not taking all the curriculum, but Psych 101 is impacted in your college that you want, that's something you can keep in mind and take a few of those and get them out of the way.
Yeah, I'm kind of old, so when I tried to transfer my class of the discovery of fire, they didn't accept that. Patty, you want to answer?
Yeah, I know it's a very complicated maze.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a very complicated maze, especially I know that having a 19-year-old. And I'm wondering how parents and students become aware of all that's available and how to navigate through it, and why aren't more people taking advantage of competency-based programs like this?
You just hit on one of the biggest reasons. Many people just don't know about it, and it's one of those things that people AP advanced placement seem to have reached a certain level of awareness as a type of program, but the other one, CLEP, ACE, they really haven't, and that's one big reason more students and parents are not taking advantage of it. And the other piece is, they're not sure if it's going to transfer or not, even if they know about it. And like you said, it's a little bit of a navigational issue. So one of the things we offer, and there's others out there, it's not just us, but we try to provide that coaching and guidance, make sure it's not just the courses and the short animated video lessons that you're getting with our service, but you're also getting that coaching and guidance ability to know which schools are going to take it, is it going to transfer in, and provide that peace of mind as well. But really, there's a huge awareness gap when it comes to this.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like your return on investment would be good for parents. So how are you on a consulting hourly basis, or how often do you work with the parents? What do you charge, like that?
So what we offer is a subscription service. So study.com is a learning platform. We have about 20,000 short video lessons that are organized in courses covering all major college gen ed courses and test prep areas. And we're currently helping about 25 million students and parents a month study and earn low-cost college credit. The way that we do it is through a subscription. So depending on if you're looking for test prep or if you're looking to earn college credit, it varies from $50 a month to $199. You can stop and start at any time until you have all your studying and all your credits available. And the coaching is built into part of that. So if you get our College Accelerator package, that's just built into it. Some parents and students need a lot more help. Others know what they're doing and navigate it on their own. So it really varies, and it's just all included. We don't really segment it that way. We just try to give access to the full library, all the courses, and then you're able to get access to the coaching.
So Adrian, just to be clear, you're not actually offering a degree yourself. You're looking to help students get through GE, obtain their GE credits so they don't have to go as long to a traditional 4-year university. Would that be correct?
That is absolutely right. That we are not an accredited university. We are simply providing courses that are credit recommended that you can transfer into 4 universities, and also provide SPREP, SAT, ACT, those other courses as well to help prepare for those exams, or AP, CLEP, like I was mentioning earlier. So we have all the courses and the coaching, but we are not directly an accredited institution that provides the degree. We're simply speeding up and fueling that process.
Well, that sounds like a great service. Sounds like something that's really needed given how expensive college education is today, and especially the 4/5 year, like a lot of our children are having to suffer through that 5th year.
Yeah, the 4 + 1.
Yeah, and especially now how college has, the view of the necessity of college has changed, and how fast information comes in, and how long really 4 years are compared to what it used to be. So how would parents, families get in touch with you and learn about, learn more?
The best way is to visit our site, study.com. We have a lot of different types of information there. They can look at the courses, the lessons, some of the other services we provide, and there's our plans page there that breaks down all the different subscriptions you can have, and our coaches are always happy to talk also in advance. There's the calling number, as well as email in there, so happy to talk to people, because again, we understand this is new, there's an awareness gap, and part of our job, even for people who just want to learn more and are not ready to take a step now, is to just help them learn. So that's part of our mission, and we're happy to talk to anyone who wants to learn more.
Great. Adrian, we are out of time now, but thank you so much for joining us on the Best of Investing and giving us great information about college help.
That's study.com.
Study.com. Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That was interesting.
That is really interesting. I had no idea that service was available. Study.com. If you are looking for a way to maybe get your GE requirements out of the way, so you don't have to go to the entire 4 years, pay for the entire 4 years for your college-age son or daughter. Wow.
Not a bad idea. Okay, we're going to cut to our first commercial break here. Before we do, we have a little announcement here for the Camellia Inn in Healdsburg. So it's a peaceful place for your next visit to California's wine country. Set in the quiet charm of Healdsburg, they have a bed and breakfast. Enjoy the villa-style swimming pool after hiking or wine tasting, and then enjoy the spa at the Camellia Inn. So check them out at 707-433-8182 or visit camellia.com. CAMELLIA in.com. Okay, here's our first miscellaneous trivia question here. It is, what element, remember the periodic table of elements for your chemistry people? What element begins with the letter K? All right, and hint, we're not talking about potassium. That the letter K is the element symbol for potassium. But we're looking for what element actually starts with the letter K. The first caller with the correct answer is going to win that free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort, subject to that cleaning fee of $100. The number here is 888-912-1190. Stay with us. The Best of Investing will be right back.
Kryptonite. Superman. 25.
Well, I just had to cut it off because that is the answer. It's krypton. It's not kryptonite, it's krypton.
I was
You're supposed to
kidding.
wait till after the
I was kidding. I was making a
No,
joke.
yeah.
I finally get one right, and I think it's true.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see what happens.
Oh,
Okay. And so the email question for you, Patty, is
Okay.
realistically, how far a geographic region should my broker cover?
Oh.
And Mark, did you see yours?
No.
How long will you usually give a borrower to pay late before initiating foreclosure? Okay. 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
So 25 million customers at $50 a month.
Well, I
Cha-ching.
can't imagine.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine he's gotten.
That's
like,
maybe
that's what he's had
the
the
hits.
entire, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be really surprised if it's
really surprised. That's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it really is.
Maybe that's his target market.
Yeah, man, yeah. I mean, the thing is, why don't people just go to a community college for that? You know, for some of that,
Yeah.
of the GE. But But I like the idea of taking the classes, just seamlessly or pass a test and
Yeah.
just be done with it.
Did you bring any goodies today, Patty?
Well, you know, I think normalization and the market's relaxing. It's really changed. And
Go back
part
to
of
that
it's summer.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think people really want to know, you know, there's no news because it's continuing trends,
I know. There is no news.
but they really want to know, you know, what's going on. And
Yeah.
the market has changed, no question. And you can't really see it yet.
Yeah. Where's it going?
Yeah.
How's it changing?
Yeah.
All right. We'll just kind of jump into that conversation.
Well, yeah, I mean, because the Bay Area, or this in my notes, let's see, the Bay Area is still the hottest in the. Here's my glasses.
Don't forget those glasses.
You know, so net, number of deals is down, residential down 6.4% year to year.
Do you want to do that on here?
Yeah, we can tell that, yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell me no. I don't care.
Yeah. Don't have to repeat yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hunt and Patti Cohen. First trivia question: what element begins with the letter K? And Patti, you were busting at the seams with the answer to that one.
Krypton.
Krypton. That is correct. Very good. You must be a Superman fan. Okay, so Patti, what do you got for us?
Well, it's an interesting market in the Bay Area, and it's continuing, nothing major, but it is major, in fact, in terms of the cycle of where we are. So in other words, there's no sharp spikes up or down, but it is a more relaxed market in terms of appreciation is relaxing. It's going toward normalization. We're seeing properties sit for more than a couple of days. So instead of this hyper, super red hot market, it's going more toward a buyer's market, though it is still a seller's market. And of course it is summer. Summer is slow, but it's been a long time since I've seen things so quiet. Now, at the same time, so net year over year, number of sales are down 6%. The appreciation is up 8.5%, which is really strong and healthy.
Is that is that near the top of the market, or is that kind of in a general blended 8.5%? Because I know that depending on what indexes you study, in some of those numbers I've heard as low as 6 and 7.
Well, yeah,
appreciation
it's
is
9 Bay Area counties,
got it.
June to June, year to year.
Okay.
But the truth is, that sounds really aggressive to me. It just does. We had a really quiet June. It's just quieted down. That's the bottom line. But
Which is
but
kind of
it's
typical, right? People
it's
go on
very
vacation.
typical, very typical. And I could really have been saying the same thing last year at this time and the year before at this time, because number of sales are down 6%. We have our volume is down. I don't know how much over the last 4 years, but a lot in terms of number of sales. The prices are up, but the rate of appreciation is relaxing. San Francisco Bay Area is still the hottest in the country. Vallejo is really strong right now. And
Wow. I mean, it makes sense just from the standpoint of proximity to San Francisco, and it's still pretty cheap to live there.
well, and it's affordable.
Yeah.
So what's really soft is over $3 million. Those properties
In
are
Vallejo?
No, I'm talking about the Bay Area. Let's
you
stop.
could buy all of Vallejo for $3 million.
That's right.
Okay.
That's going to be soft forever.
Yeah.
But no, I mean in the Bay Area, those properties that were flying off the shelf at $16 million in Palo Alto, and $14 million, all over Marin and San Francisco, over 3, maybe over 4 is soft,
Wow.
and that's a changing market. So
Yeah.
it sort of ties in with why is Vallejo hot, because it's the beginning, it's the
I mean,
entry
what
level.
do you think is going on with the over $3 million price? Is it just people were overpricing it, or is it just those buyers already bought what they wanted and there's just not that many of them?
I think it's both, because the tech sector isn't suffering a bit, so people aren't, people people have a lot of money, but they're sick of paying those big prices, and they're afraid of being the one that overpays.
Yeah.
And especially in San Francisco, where it's just, I heard of a place in Bernal Heights that had 45 offers over the weekend. And so, and
They must have priced it right.
yeah, and that's just San Francisco pricing. So buyers are sick of it. They're looking for counsel on what should I offer, and they're just told a big number, and they're not going to throw out 15 million just because it's supposed to be a big number.
Yeah.
Because that's when you look back 3 years later and said, oh wow, maybe that number was too
Yeah,
big.
what was I thinking?
The good news is you got the place. The bad news is you got the place.
Yeah.
So I got this great headline from an article I picked off the wires this week as I was doing my show prep. It's not a housing bubble, it's just expensive.
That's true. Yeah.
It says despite record home prices in major U.S. cities, the U.S. market is nowhere near as bad as it was a decade ago. They're saying real estate isn't right now in a speculative bubble. Instead, low inventory of available homes is driving prices higher. Well, of course, we've been talking about that for years now. They do believe prices will eventually recede as buyers throw up their hands. But they say the structural issues that led to the housing collapse last decade just are simply not present today. And actually, they went a little bit, easy credit, exactly. This particular article, they did say that they looked at 6 factors that they deemed crucial to the housing market, including things like price to income, price to rent, housing starts to housing formation, et cetera. And when you benchmark all of those against what was happening in the mid-2000s, they say there's just, it doesn't compare to where we were at 10 years ago. Of course, they do go on to say, and this is a national article, so it does say that certain local markets do look like they are in a bubble, and they do. It names here California cities like the San Francisco Bay Area, but they are predicting that we are getting to housing prices, and Patti, you're just talking about that, where it's kind of an organic slowdown. You just can't keep raising prices when people's income and capacity to pay are at a limit.
And that doesn't really affect your business, does it, Mark?
It doesn't affect the demand for alternative financing because, again, we serve a marketplace where a certain percentage of real estate transactions either they don't qualify for conventional financing, or the conventional financing that the buyer was relying on is falling through for some reason, or falling apart, or can't close fast enough, or the buyer is tired of losing out to all cash buyers or non-contingent buyers and wants to make a non-contingent offer, and the only way they can do that and use financing is to go with private alternative financing, like we provide at Pacific Private Money. So I would say no, but I will say that we're also having a little bit of a slowdown. It's summer, and we're not quite as busy here in July as we've been in other months of the year. So we're looking forward to that transactional volume picking up a little bit for us as well.
Another thing is millennials just behave differently than the baby boomers. The millennials are the 20 to 40-year-olds, and a lot of them are choosing not to buy.
Absolutely. A number of articles, you're right about that, Patti. Our articles that are coming out are saying that exact same thing.
Well, a friend of mine just told me that she moved to Portland because a bunch of her friends just couldn't afford to live in San Francisco anymore, and neither could she, and a little more of an artist type person, and so she moved to Oregon.
Well, there's absolutely a migration happening to Portland, Seattle, and even Denver, Colorado. Those are the 3 hottest cities in the United States right now. All are enjoying or experiencing, if you might want to refer to it, as 12% year-over-year price appreciation. So that's where the new bubble markets are in those areas.
How are the rental markets? Probably also pretty strong, aren't they?
Absolutely. Well, the rental market in general, of course, as we all know, is too darn high. I've got another article here that says, why the rent is so darn high. Is it greedy landlords or jobs growth? And it turns out it's really neither. It's home ownership rates in the U.S. have plummeted to a near 5-decade low in the aftermath of the U.S. housing bubble. some 2.5 million households, and that's a lot again, but of course we're talking about across the United States. Some 2.5 million households shifted into multifamily properties between 2009 and 2014. The number of owner-occupied homes fell by nearly 1 million. So, when you have that kind of demand for a rather fixed and slow-growing apartment and other rental properties, you've got nationwide rents are up 5% versus 3% year over year, and of course here in the Bay Area we know that number is double digits.
You think that then the price of homes would have dropped?
Yeah, there's a few puzzling things to me because
Maybe
here's
it did in some markets.
one thing that's really that I didn't touch on that has significantly changed is the rental market. The rental market has really changed more toward renters. Properties are not getting snapped up like they were, especially in the suburbs. San Francisco's a different story, but yet half of renters surveyed said they plan to buy a home in the near future.
Okay.
And yet millennials are not necessarily buying. Homeownership rate is down,
And they can't
but yet
qualify either.
they can't qualify.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, the rental market is very soft right now. So there's some puzzling things going on.
I heard, in San Francisco they're even offering free rent.
Yes.
In some cases.
Yeah, San Francisco, they actually are now experiencing kind of an overbuilt market in the condominiums, which a lot of people were snapping up to as investments to rent out. And now all of a sudden, it was a rather quick shift because a year ago we certainly didn't have that issue. A year ago, all the stories were how $5,000 for a closet, and so again that's healthy that we see a little bit of a market turnaround.
It's just sort of where did everybody go? Because they're not buying, they're
They all
not
went to
renting,
Portland.
and they can't afford it. And yeah,
All right, we're going to cut to another commercial break. Before we do, got a little mention here for the Hornblower Cruises and Events. Imagine yourself aboard a luxury yacht with your closest friends and family. Indulge in deliciously prepared food, which I've been on the Hornblower many times. It is delicious. If you've ever been on, you'll know what I mean. Beautiful San Francisco Bay views. Check out Hornblower Cruises and Events by going to hornblower.com. Nice and simple, huh? Okay, second trivia question. What is the world's biggest island? And hint is it's not Gilligan's Island. All right? Stay with us because you're listening to The Best of Investing, and we will be right back.
World's biggest island.
I don't know if that's the answer. We go to email time. And do you have a deal of the week, Mark?
No.
No, because it's
Slow.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy out there. Yeah, this is the time of year where I wish I was in Hawaii because I wouldn't be missing anything.
Good point. We have to be out of our house the end of July because we're like sanding floors and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Where are you gonna go?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I know I'm going up to the lighthouse at the end of, or beginning of August. Just have a friend.
Ooh, it's got my yawning. Going to email time next?
Yeah.
Why don't you do Patty's first?
All right.
Oh, that's a really, I hate that question. How far geographically should they go? They should stay in their own area, but I'd love to get some nice leads from this thing.
Well, just, you
Yeah.
tell them, say you've done stuff from...
Coolest. That's where they're going.
Good answer. Here we go. Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hump and Patti Cohen. Second trivia question. What is the world's biggest island?
Scratching my head on that one. I'm going to be curious to the answer to that one.
Greenland.
I was going to say that. I really was going to say that.
You should have.
I should have said that.
Would have been 2 for 2.
Oh,
It's a big island.
man.
Yeah, pretty
But I was
big.
joking. No,
Well,
no, I know. I really seriously was going to say
I
that.
believe you. I believe you. You have that look on your face like I knew the answer.
I know.
All right, so Patti, we'll go right into you. We've got an email here. It says, realistically, how far a geographic region should my broker cover? That's actually a pretty good question.
It's an excellent question because, of course, we can service the whole state. We're licensed in the state of California. But I believe people should stay in their lanes, as they say. So what, whether you're buying or selling, a local agent is the way to go. And meaning though, some agents just work in one little neighborhood of one town and that's all they do. They're not necessarily the best one for your listing, because you want an agent that's kind of spread out through the whole area, that's in touch with all different price ranges, because they know what's going on and they're dealing with buyers for your house.
Interesting.
And then as a buyer, there's so many local nuances you need to know when you're representing a buyer that you won't know if you're going into a new area. And you can't rely on the listing agent to tell you. Yeah, there's disclosures, but there's things that you just intuitively know that you won't know if you walk into a new area.
Like in this neighborhood, at 3 o'clock, the bell rings and all the kids come jumping over my fence to get to their house.
Exactly, like that. Or there was a rapist or whatever, So at the same time, what it's also important to do, and a lot of homers don't realize you can do this, and I do it a lot when I go outside my area. Sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but I co-list with a local Napa agent or a local Palo Alto agent, wherever, because what the homeowner gets is 2 agents for the price of 1, and they also get both agents with their sphere of influence, their knowledge base. You have 2 people marketing, spending money on advertising. You have, just a think tank there.
Look, is it always a good idea to ask for co-listing?
Well, it just depends. I mean, and co-listing is often thought of if there's a divorce. He has his agent, she has hers. But at the same time, I do a lot of co-listing with people outside the area, and it really works for the owner. I won't do anything if it doesn't work for the customer, but that works for an owner. And a lot of agents don't want to do it, and
well, because they think they're working for half the money.
Right. Right. And I always have agents, sellers saying to me, well, I'll see if my agent's going to let me. And I always remind them they're in charge.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what they're feeling. There's always this uncomfortable confrontation that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But no, I like the idea of spreading it out like that.
Yeah.
And so you have it in Napa and probably in San Francisco also?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of nice if people get hooked up with you, then they can also, have you co-listed with somebody. That's a very good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you give out your information?
Well, I'm Patti Cohn with Pacific Union International. My phone number is 415-722-4842. And I'm at Patti, P-A-T-T-I, at bestmarinagent.com.
Ooh,
There's
like
a
that
reason
URL.
There's a reason why you are the best agent in Marin. Okay, thank you very much for that. That's a good idea about co-listing. Mark, question for you comes in and says, how long will you usually give a borrower to pay late before initiating foreclosure? This may be one of your borrowers asking this question.
So the reason why that question is relevant is my company is Pacific Private Money. We're a Bay Area-based alternative source for real estate financing. And it's interesting, that's an interesting question only because, we specialize in making short-term real estate loans. Most of the loans we make are purchase loans, and they come to us because they want to close quickly, or there was a glitch in getting conventional financing, and they needed kind of a rescue me loan. Lots of different reasons why people would choose alternative financing, which is also called hard money or private money, and it's quite frankly it's not inexpensive money. We typically charge a 9.9%, call it 10% interest rate for our loans, and a couple of points. But people come to us because we're in the business of making very, very fast decisions, fast underwriting, actually very easy to work with us. Once we say yes, that is. I mean, we don't just make fast, easy loans to everybody. It has to fit within a certain type of loan that we look for. And if it's the type of loan we regularly do, we will say yes quickly, and we can quickly fund your loan. We can quickly document it, and we won't run you through the ringer. It's just a very, very easy process. And we've got over 200 loans we're servicing right now, about $62 million worth of loans, and we just don't have that many lates because again, people don't keep our loans for that long. But sometimes stuff happens. And generally, our loans, we do ask for, When it comes to non-consumer loans, that is people who come to us who are buying, fixing, and flipping, or it's rental property, maybe they're taking cash out. On those types of non-consumer loans, we have a 10-day grace period. On consumer loans, we're bound by law to allow 15 days like a regular mortgage company. But whether it's 10 days or 15 days that you have to make your payment, if you don't pay, of course, there's a late charge. I mean, every mortgage has a late charge that they apply. Now the question becomes, if how many payments can you miss before we're talking about filing foreclosure? Well, a lot of things happen before we would file a notice of default, which is the first action in the foreclosure process. Typically, we don't even start thinking about it until you miss that second payment. But we're also calling you, we're sending you a letter if you don't pick up the phone, we're giving you fair warning. I mean, we're not in the business of foreclosing. That's a reputation that hard money did have. And who knows, there might be still some companies out there that are so-called loan-to-own companies, but we're really not serving that marketplace. We're not really making loans to people who are in desperate financial straits and just need money and will pay any price for it. And that's not the market we serve. We're generally helping people execute a specific strategy, and they just chalk up the added cost of our money as a cost of getting the house they want or getting the money they need or closing the transaction because they don't want to lose that deposit that is now non-refundable when they thought they were getting bank financing. So again, a lot of reasons why people come to Pacific Private Money. Among them is because we're a nice company to work for, and we actually go out of our way not to foreclose. Sometimes it's inevitable, but after doing over 1,200 loans over the last 8 years, we've only had to foreclose like less than a dozen times. So it's really the exception, not the rule. And so we're pretty happy that our borrowers tend to make their loan payment. So it's all good. For more information about alternative financing opportunities or options for you, give us a call at 415-883-2150, or better yet, just go to our website, pacificprivatemoney.com.
Very good. Okay, we're going to cut to our, let's see here, this will be our last commercial break trivia question.
Those hours going by.
I know, really fast. Before we do, want to make another mention here for the Weingarten's Children's Center. So if your child cannot hear or speak, check them out at Weingarten Children's Center. All right? And here we go.
I'm going to get this one.
You're going to get this one.
Yep.
No, this is a hard one. Sorry. Where would you find the world's most ancient forest?
Ooh.
Yeah. First caller with correct answer is going to win a free 3-day 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. 888-912-1190. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
This one's hard for that.
I never heard of this, so.
You never heard of it? So I guess Muir Woods is not the answer. I never heard of it.
I never heard of Muir Woods. Okay, this is going to be a short segment.
Yeah.
6 minutes and 31 seconds.
Speaking of millennials, I have an article. More Americans prefer cash or real estate to stocks.
Even though the market's at an all-time high.
Yeah, when it comes to long-term investment strategy, more people are sticking with zero risk, zero return mentality. It says a surprising 54 million Americans said they preferred cash for money they did not need for 10 years or more. Now, how did they know that 54 million Americans said that?
I know.
Do they really mean that they
They
did
did 54
a
out of 100,
statistical survey of 1,200 adults and they multiplied it and that's 54 million Americans said.
Good idea. You should be
really?
enough.
Did you know that 84.5% of statistics are made up?
I've used that before. I like that. So you have to get
So millennials overwhelmingly choose cash as their preferred investment for the money they would not need for at least 10 years.
Well,
Isn't that weird?
because they have $100. I mean, Americans don't have money. They don't
Well,
save.
Some other countries, you have to pay them negative interest rates.
That's true. Yeah.
For my bank to do that.
People don't. We're not savers. That's our culture. You know.
That helps the economy, though.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Last time for today, Edward Brown here along with Mark Hunt and Patti Cohen. Trivia question, where would you find the world's most ancient forest?
my guess was going to be Muir Woods, but then you
No.
said I've never heard of this place, so it can't be right.
It's in Australia, the Dan Tree Forest.
Ooh.
That's right.
Australia.
Beats
all right.
me.
I gotta go.
I gotta start asking questions I know the answers to, so I don't look so dumb. So Mark, you got a couple of interesting. Little
Well, I
tidbits
thought
here
this
before we
was
go.
this was cool. It's back to the investing side of things. I got an article here that says the headline: More Americans now prefer cash or real estate to stocks. Now, and I find that interesting, given that we're now, the stock market's at an all-time high. We've set a series of highs again after the Brexit hiccup, and we're now I think it's the S&P is up 6% this year so far. So, although year over year it's well, I guess actually it is year over year about 6%. But the article says when it comes to a long-term investment strategy, more people are sticking with a zero risk, zero return mentality.
It was just afraid to lose it.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
this is from bankrate.com, and they're actually a really good source of information I have found. But this sentence here kind of threw me. It says, a surprising 54 million Americans said they preferred cash investments for money they did not need for 10 years or
That
more.
was a very expensive survey. To
Right.
take.
54 million Americans said. Did they
Ask
really
me.
ask 54 million
Did
Americans?
you get asked?
No,
I didn't get asked. Did you get asked?
I was the asker.
Well,
Oh, okay.
they seem to believe that 54 million Americans prefer cash for money they don't intend to use for 10 years or more. And in fact, millennials, those aged 18 to 25, overwhelmingly chose cash as their preferred investment for money they would not need for at least 10 years.
10
Well,
years,
how
or
much
0%.
money do they have?
Right,
They're
then you
18
said off
to
the air they only have
25.
$100, so it's like, of course they.
They're gonna prefer cash.
But if you think about that, it'd be one thing if you say I don't need the money for a year, and you say okay, that's fine. But for 10 years, to let your money sit at 0%,
Well,
holy smoke!
Now, of course, the older generation, they don't identify or define what they mean by older. I guess that means you and I and maybe Patti. Although
No, she's not
younger.
old.
Yeah, right. Younger than we are. Older generations were more likely to cite real estate as their top choice for long-term investments. And then overall, 1/4 of Americans said real estate was their most favored investment option for savings that they wanted to stash for more than 10 years, closely followed by cash. So it says stocks and precious metals were a distant third, tied at 16%.
Maybe these millennials do remember the crash of
Yeah.
the stock markets and the interest
Real
rates
estate.
always being low and real estate. So they just say, cash at
Well,
least hasn't gone down in value.
I will say
Mhm.
anecdotally, though, again, and so this article doesn't surprise me because anecdotally, I talk to people all the time because obviously we have a mortgage pool fund for people who are participating in mortgage investing and taking advantage of our high yield fund right now, paying out 8%.
8%.
Right, and but a lot of people are telling you they've been getting out of the stock market, that they just don't feel comfortable with the wild gyrations that seem commonplace now in the stock market. And I think the average investor, whoever that is, middle America, average investor, it doesn't surprise me that many of them are just saying, the heck with the stock market. I'm going to either keep it in cash or invest in real estate.
Well, and the funny thing is those people who are willing to take 0% for 10 years, if they put it into your fund at the current interest rate, they would more than double it in that 10-year period.
Right.
yeah.
Well, and I don't think people are thinking about that, well, I'm going to keep it in cash for 10 years and earn nothing on it. It's more of a short-term mentality. It feels good. I mean, I know even my own wife loves to keep cash in the safe deposit box. And not a little bit of cash either. I mean, a significant amount that could pay for a couple of really nice
Where do you live,
vacations.
Mark?
It's in a Wells Fargo.
That's what she told you.
A Wells Fargo safe deposit box. So good luck
I like to
getting
go
that one.
naked and just wallop in the cash on my bed.
That's funny. One of my employees asked me one time if I had ever tried that. I said, no. Have you?
No, 'cause money's dirty.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Exactly.
it is kind of dirty. Think of all those dirty hands that have
Yeah.
fondling those
Yeah.
$1 bills. You got to go out and get a batch of crispy $100 bills that haven't been fondled yet. And you can just-
Pennies.
Ouch.
Walk
No,
away.
those are the worst. Those are probably the dirtiest of all.
And what strikes me about the survey is that I wonder what the results, if someone tracked results of people's level of confidence after post-recession, post-depression,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because when we make decisions based on most recent experiences. So we've come out of this real estate recession, the gyrations of the stock market, all of that. That's when people say, I'm going safe. And that's the
Yep.
very time really just to invest, because that's when we're headed for. Anyway, we might be coming toward another recession though.
Right. Well, if you've had money to invest and you didn't go into the real estate market, you're not investing in real estate probably today because prices have gone so high, and the same with the stock market because of what it's been doing. So it doesn't surprise me that there's an amazing amount of money sitting in cash right now.
All right, folks, we're going to cut out for today. Again, go on to the Best of Investing website and click on Paintball to see how you can get 85% off.
Absolutely.
It's pretty amazing when you go in there. Okay, here's our thoughts for the day. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. I like that. Do you want to know who you are? Don't act. Action will delineate and define you, said Thomas Jefferson. Not bad. Tune in next week to the Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown. We're wishing you the best of investing. So long.
Nice. Short and sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.